What exactly is government? Government is looking at the structure, the powers, and the powers they don't have of our national government. In relation to the states, how does the national government function? How does the state governments function? And what rights are reserved to the people? And we ask hard questions, questions that you used to hear in the press, questions that used to be studied in colleges and universities. And probably one of the biggest questions, one of the hardest questions I've been asking myself for about 10 years now is, why the hell do I still have a hairbrush? We'll check that out another time. We'll get to government next. Hello, Raindrops, new subscribers and old friends. Welcome to Government. Speaking of new subscribers, in the last 28 days, I've gotten 5 new subscribers. Thank you so much. Now, who wants to be 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now while you're thinking about it. As always, this video is dedicated to the glory of God who blessed this land. Last video, we talked about the 8 roles the president fills. As president, he has 8 different roles. If you haven't seen that, check out that last video. Make sure to like and subscribe and click on that notification bell while you're thinking about it. Today, we're going to talk about the qualifications to be president. You know, it seems like it would be much more stringent, much more strict requirements to be president, but there's really only 3. Now, these are formal requirements. We'll talk about informal here in a minute. All right. So the first formal requirement, you must be a natural born citizen. Now, what exactly does that mean? You must be an American citizen, and I think there is some debate, there is some question whether you can be, the way we have things now, we have birthright citizenship. So an immigrant comes over legally or illegally, and they have a baby here in America, and that baby, by the way the law stands now, is a natural born citizen, is a citizen born in the United States. But if their parents have allegiance to another country, is this person a natural born citizen or just a citizen? Now, there's some debate about that. There's some question about that. And it really hasn't been explained, hasn't been defined definitely. And so that remains to be seen. The Supreme Court must take a case up on this at some point and define exactly what natural born citizen means. So that's the first formal qualification. Second formal qualification, you must be at least 35 years old. Now, 35 doesn't seem all that old to us today, but back in the day, back when they wrote this, in the late 1700s, 35 was, easily middle age, or even getting closer to old age, because life expectancy was so much lower. So by the time you were 35, most people had been experienced real life, okay? They've experienced owning their own place. They've experienced having a mortgage and bills and dealing with their community and being a citizen that's involved in affairs of the community. And so the 35-year-olds back then were a lot more seasoned than 35-year-olds are today. However, 35 is the minimum age you must be to be elected president. And the third and final one is you must have lived in the United States for 14 years. All right? You could be 2 American parents, born in the United States, you're 6 months old, your parents moved to Europe, and you live there till you're 50. Okay? You come back. You cannot run for president. You are an American citizen, unless your parents or you have renounced it. But you are an American citizen. You can run for president when you're 64. All right? Which would be real young these days. But anyway, so you must live in the United States for at least 14 years. Those are the 3 formal qualifications to become president. Not very high, right? Not very stringent. However, there are some informal qualifications that we expect from our presidents. Number 1, we expect them to be able to put 2 sentences together and make some sense. We expect them to be able to provide some evidence of some decision making, running a business, running a state or a county, or something that shows they know how to make good decisions. An informal qualification is basically that someone has a nice family, okay, and a nice family. The wife, the kids, etc., etc. That's an informal qualification. Somehow, some way, the informal qualification of not having a beard has come along. Back in the day, a lot of presidents had beards, but today the informal qualification is that the presidential candidate doesn't have a beard. Now, we came close in 2016 with Hillary Clinton, but it didn't work because she wasn't elected. So that is an informal qualification, clean cut, family man, someone who, generally speaking, someone who has some experience in politics, some experience in electoral politics where you have to be elected to something. You can put a sentence together, you can give a speech, you can look presidential, you can have that presidential look. And so those are some informal qualifications that we expect from our presidents. So that's it. Those are the 3 formal qualifications. Now, how long is the president's term? We know it's 4 years and eligible for re-election. Up until the 22nd Amendment, there was no limit on re-election. Franklin Roosevelt was elected 4 times. That's right, 4 times. He died during his 4th term. After that, the Constitution was amended so that you can only be elected twice. So, with that, we come to bar bet questions, our first bar bet questions of GovMinute. So, the first bar bet questions, you can put your answers down in the comments. No Googling. No Google, no Google, no Google, or Bing, or any other search engine, all right? So, let's see. Who was the first natural-born American president? Who was the first natural-born American president? Okay, that's bar bet question number 1. Bar bet question number 2, who was the youngest president? Who was the youngest president? Again, no Google, no search, no AI, no Bing. So who was the youngest president? And finally, the 3rd bar bet question. What is the maximum number of years right now that a president may serve as president? All right. I will answer these questions in a midweek posting, probably by Friday or Saturday, giving the answers to these bar bet questions. Please remember, any bets you do win, 10% comes to me because I gave you the answers. All right. So please put your comments, your guesses down below, and let's see who gets it. Let's see. I will, if you leave your name, first name, and where you're from, even a state, I will recognize if you were the first person to get it. All right. So remember, no Google, no AI, no Bing, no DuckDuckGo, no DuckDuckGoose, whatever you want to look at. None of that. Just see if you know it. All right. So that is basically all that the presidential qualifications and some bar bet questions for you. So last thing we're going to cover today is a president's term of office is 4 years, and I got sidetracked on those bar bet questions. 4 years. There was some debate during the Constitutional Convention on how long a presidential term should be. Should it be, they finally decided on 4 years with eligible for re-election. There was some argument that a president should get a 1, 6, or 7-year term, and I kind of like that. Tell me what you think down in the comments. I kind of like that. I think this, look, I say 6 years, right? If you run for president and you have ideas and you can't get them done in 6 years, maybe they weren't good ideas. Because here's what happens. Someone gets elected to president and they immediately start working for re-election. So their time, their attention, and their calculus, their political calculus is divided between doing the job now and getting re-elected in 4 years. So I kind of like the idea of 1 term, 6 years, and you're done. What do you think? Let me know in the comments, and we'll go over some of the comments if it is warranted. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you paid attention because there will be a test at the next election, which is on November 5th. This is Mr. A reminding you that we, the people, are the government, and don't you forget it. We'll see you next time.